So the messenger goes on to say, they, the Orthodox Jews, as God taught me, live more closely to the Muslim way of eating than any of the rest of the white civilization. The Jews and Muslims have always been able to settle their differences between each other better than Christians and Muslims. The Meccan white Muslims claim to be first cousins to the black man through Abraham's two sons, Ishmael and Isaac. But nevertheless, among the three parties now, Muslims, Jews, and Christians, and a fourth party, Hindus, a great conflict arises. A great conflict arises and is growing to reach a bitter end if, here's the qualification, if wisdom is not found to curb it. If wisdom is not found to curb it. But the American Jew, listen up, family, all this rhetoric, all this misinterpretation, misunderstanding of Messenger Elijah Muhammad's teachings, this is what the messenger envisioned about FOIs and MGTs and white Jews in the wilderness of North America and around the world in the future, which is now. Okay, the 15 rungs on the ladder, the angels ascending and descending. You're going to get this wisdom. Listen what he says. I'm going to read this part again. The Jews and Muslims have always been able to settle their differences between each other better than Christians and Muslims. The Meccan white Muslims claim to be first cousins to the black man through Abraham's two sons, Ishmael and Isaac. But nevertheless, among the three parties now, Muslims, Jews, and Christians, and a fourth party, Hindus, a great conflict arises and is growing to reach a bitter end if wisdom is not found to curb it. But the American Jew and the American black man may yet find some way of making a separate relationship out of the other world. Let me read that. But the American Jew and the American black man may yet find some way of making a separate relationship out of the other world. So here, the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, his thing is like, listen, we see religious conflicts, Christians versus Muslims. We're in the age of terrorism, anti-Semitism, the Palestinians and Zionists, know what I mean? And people gets confused. The Hindus and the Muslims be fighting and killing each other. All around the world, this stuff is going on. Somebody got to come up with some common sense up in this thing. I mean, and in the Nation of Islam, the messenger teaches is real simple. The messenger thing is like, are y'all really, honestly, sincerely wasting y'all time talking about y'all are the real Jews? Come on. It's 2022, family. That's not the teaching that I'm allowed. It's, yeah, we the real Jews. Let me show you something about that there. Hold on, wait 1 second here. Let me find this in okay. This is the holy fall of America. Not just the fall. It's every book of the messages is holy to me. It's just as holy as your Bible, your Quran, your Torah, your Septuagint, your Vulgate, your Sanskrit, the Book of Life, whatever you have. This is the holy fall of America by Messenger Elijah Muhammad, 1973. This is what he says. Again, like to show y'all, so you won't think I'm making it up. Page 158 and 159. I'm going to quote him word for word. The Bible declares to Abraham in Genesis that God would judge the people to whom his people, Abraham's, would be in bondage. This does not mean Israel. This means the present black people, the members of their black nation who have and are fulfilling their prophecy. God, in the person of Master Fard Muhammad, will not be defeated. Here's the message teaching. Okay, we're the real Hebrews. We're the real Jews. We're the real Canaanites. I mean, but the spooky part is when we get caught up on that. I mean, like Noah's son after the flood. I mean, like for real. That's what you thought, Master Mom. That's what you thought the lessons is about. That's what you thought your student Roman was teaching. That's what you thought Lost Found Miles of lesson number 1, Lost Found Miles of lesson number 2 was teaching us. That's who you think the 5%ers are. We supposed to be running around talking about we the Jews. Come on, man. We old, but we the Egyptians. We're the Jews. We're the Canaanites. We're the Persianites. We're the Asiatics. We're the Hittites. We're the Nubians. We're the Cushites, the Ethiopians. We're the Azanians or the South Africans. We're from Mali. We're worldwide. We're the Mexicans. We're the Puerto Ricans. We're the Taino Indians. I mean, it's like we have a whole bunch. We got a gumbo in our DNA. Now, I mean, it's no doubt in my mind that we the real original Jews. Now, I mean, it's like, did the Jews come from us? Whew, spooky. Not only did the Jews come from us, everyone came from us. Remember the message? His thing, the message is like, listen, the original man's Azad black man to make on the creator of planet Earth, God of the universe. Remember? We're not trying to get you to be like, oh, we're Jewish. We're like, yeah. And the original Christians was black people too. The original Catholics were black people too. The original prophets were black people too. The original disciples were black folks too. I mean, it's like, come on. I mean, we're the originals. We're the salt of the earth. I mean, not just the Jewish salt or the grafted salt with iodine and all that crap in it, but we're the salt or the flavor of the earth. That's what hip hop represents. That's what the culture is. Hip hop is not global. It's universal. See, people are like, oh, hip hop started here. It's like, it's no beginning or ending to hip hop. That's the nature of the original people. We always had, that's the law of rhythm. I mean, the Kabbalion, remember what the ancestors taught us. I mean, what the messenger is really teaching us is this. He like, man, don't get stuck on you being a Hebrew. You crossed over. Yeah, Josh going to take you across the Jordan. The Jordan is muddy and cold, and we come from a muddy ghetto existence of chaos and evil. Now we blessed to come. Now, I mean, it's deeper than that, man. We're saying black people is Yahweh. That be going over people here. They always like, this dude always talking this God crap. I mean, we're saying black people is Allah. We're saying black people is Ray. We're saying black people is Amun. We're saying the black family is the real Osiris and Isis and Horus. I mean, we're the real Rabbil Alameen. We're the real rabbis. I mean, we're the real Arabs. Black folks are the Arabs. Black folks are the builders of the Great Wall of China. We're the real Chinese. We're the real Japanese. The real Japanese is black folks. You always say Hawaii 5-0. It's a black guy standing up there. The real Hawaiians is black. I mean, like the Olmec civilization, it's like, yo, Mexico, that's our brothers and sisters. That's our family. I mean, 16,000 years ago, the different tribes, they all came from black people. I mean, the conflict in Hinduism and Buddha, that was a family affair. We black folks. We just come in 16 different shades of color. 4 shades of black, 4 shades of brown, 4 shades of yellow, 4 shades of red. You'll find us with albinos. You'll find us with Caucasians. That's a branch that came from us. The devil didn't come out from outer space. The devil didn't come from under the ground from some Satan, Lucifer, hocus pocus. No, the devil came out of the black woman and the black man. That's our babies. We made, they grafted. I mean, the Bible teaches about that fig tree that got grafted onto. Like you have one tree near another tree, the branch keep growing, then eventually touch and start absorbing nutrients and I mean, it's like, oh, they studying ancient Egypt and the meta netta, the hieroglyphics, and now you see, me and my wife was just watching the other day. They had the movie, the Gods of Egypt, and I'm like, did they really just show all the guys in Egypt as white and show Imhotep? But they had Imhotep. He was black, but he was like he's a member of the gay community or something. It's like when we see the Ten Commandments. I mean, I love the Ten Commandments. That's a good movie. I like that's Charleston Heston. But it's like as a kid, I never realized they were black until my mom made us study. She had back then the Afro American Encyclopedia. I mean, and when we start reading all this African stuff, that's why like the Ankh is the real cross, and I mean, it's like Usar and Aset and Heru is the Caucasian version of Osiris, and I mean, and how the mystery God gets Mary pregnant with the Christ child Jesus. So it's like when you learn knowledge of self, like Kyrie and Jay, you gonna be like you. It's not that you changing the teachings change you for the better. That should be a positive. Like black men, they just criminals, drug dealers, drug addicts, violent. You know what I mean? And here the message is making peaceful brothers and sisters. You know what I mean? And he's teaching us knowledge of self, and it's like we ain't paying school no attention, but now all of a sudden we want to learn. I mean, it's like when I went to school, I used to shut my professors down because I had knowledge of self. I mean, but when you want to teach me about Christopher Columbus and all this other stuff in the spooky sense, I'm like, man, I'm not attracted to that. I mean, but when I turn on Hidden Colors, I'm like, oh, this is what I'm talking about. Something about this. I mean, so it's like, I haven't seen from Hebrews to Negroes yet. I mean, I was trying to find it, and I seen like the trailer, and I was looking for other stuff. Somebody had like a book. I seen a couple of like YouTube videos where they was talking about it. You know what I mean? But I did get to see the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan speak on it, and he caught my attention when he said that him and his wife watched the movie. So I'm like, okay, that movie is out there somewhere. If I got to pay for it or whatever, definitely want to track that down and check that out. You know what I mean? Because it's not about other people. We trying to learn more about ourselves. We I mean, it's like it's no limit to that. I mean, I never stop learning. I order books and I try to learn as much as I can. I try to learn something every day. I like learning. It don't have to be Black history. I look at all history some kind of way is tied to Black history anyway. So I have no problem with learning about American history, China, India, Greece, Rome, whatever. I mean, it's just like as long as it's factual. I mean, I definitely like to study it. You know what I mean? The Arabs in the Holy Quran, Surah chapter 20, verse 102, it says, "The day when the trumpet is blown, and we shall gather the guilty blue-eyed on that day." Now, some translations and transliterations and mistranslations and misinterpretations of the Holy Quran be like bleary-eyed. It means blue-eyed. Now, I mean, blue-eyed in Arabic is zirk. The Holy Quran uses the Arabic word zirk. Okay. And those eyes, basically, according to the ancient Romans and Greeks, was the eyes of the Greeks and Romans. They were considered devils all over the planet Earth. Chinese consider them foreign devils. Indians consider them devils. Egyptians consider them devils. Well, Africans consider them devils in general. Native American Indians consider them the fork tongue, pale faced devils. I mean, it's like, come on. You can't take that personal. It's strictly business. Like if you come colonize somebody, kidnap them, take their resources, kill them, take their land, take their women, enslave them, destroy their culture, burn their libraries. Who could you be other than a devil? I mean, it's like, come on. It's like, you going to tell me it's some devil with some horns, with a pitchfork and a long tail that's underneath the hot magma, the hot lava that I need to worry about and not you? And you putting out people on slave ships? You hanging us by trees like strange fruit? And we supposed to be concerned about accepting this white God as Jesus Christ is our God and going to heaven so we could go up there with some white angels and a white God on a white throne with some long white robes on some white clouds, nimbus clouds. Nah, I don't think, not me. I mean, it's like, nah, not at all. I reject that mystery God and I reject that mystery devil. We want to keep it right here on earth. The kingdom come, thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven. Know what I mean? So this is the temple that I'm trying to learn from. I'm trying to learn from the temple of the mind. Now, I mean, I'm trying to learn from the temple of the brain. Now, I mean, to get some knowledge, some wisdom, and some understanding. Now, I mean, we want knowledge, which is to listen, know, and observe, according to Honorable Elijah Muhammad. Wisdom is to make your knowledge known, and understand is a picture one makes in his or her mind of knowledge. Okay, so the Holy Quran tells us in chapter 20, verse 102, the day when the trumpet is blown and we, not I, not some spook God, know what I mean? We shall gather the guilty blue-eyed on that day of Yom Kippur, that day of judgment, judge the mental, not boom, 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 we physically fighting and all that. The war of Armageddon you hear about in the Bible, get the spooky stuff out there. All them books and movies, read it for yourself. Read it carefully about this. They gather for this battle, but they don't actually fight. Why? The messenger said wisdom, if wisdom could be found to curb it. You see, the teachings of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad is what I always say, the messenger's message will guide us through this age of mess. You watch and see. All right, let us take and go to, I want to give y'all a quote from, you know how they say hell is actually a Hellenistic period with these white folks around 323 before the Christian era, as they say. I don't like using them terminology because it could be confusing, like the Asiatic calendar. That's too complicated for lay people to really picture. But the real simple way, anytime you see something like BC or before Christ or whatever, basically just round it off. Say Jesus lived 2,000 years ago. So if the Hellenistic period is, say, around 323 to 331 BCE, now I mean, that's basically saying about 2,300 years ago, a little more, give or take. Now I mean, so 2,300 years ago, they found what's called the Mernaptah Stele. It's about 3,200 years old. I would like to read something that's on there. This is from the black man God, Pharaoh symbolizing the house and all that. It's real simple. The black man is God. The Pharaohs, it's not the valley of the kings, it's the valley of the gods. It's the gods of the hood. You know what I mean? All right. The son of Ramses II. He was the great god. He said this, Canaan is plundered. He said, Canaan is plundered with every evil way, as Ashkelon is conquered and brought away captive. Gezer seized. Israel is laid waste. His seed is not. So, about 3,200 years ago, in ancient Kemet, Black Egypt, they're talking about Israel. When you study the wars of ancient Kemet, Egypt, the battles, you see that they're talking about opposition, somebody that they rumbling. Know what I mean? They're called Asiatics. Now, this is thousands of years ago. A lot of people think that Asiatic came from the Greeks and the Romans. No. I mean, linguists, scientists of words and names will tell you no one as of 2022 on Earth has found how old the name Asia is because it's too old. That thing is from the oldest records that they have found. They got stuff 3,000 years ago in ancient China, Asiatic written on it, Asia on it. I mean, so it's a thing where when the messengers say the Asiatic black man, he's putting the nationality first, but he's putting that color in there too. Well, that's for Muhammad is too. You know what I mean? Asia means world. Ati means tribe or member, like a citizen. So when we say Asiatic, what we're saying is we're world citizens, meaning that European colonizers came in and not just divided self against self, but they literally put tribe against tribe and boundary against boundary. And in religions, they even divided faith against faith. So you got all these branches of Catholicism, the Roman Catholic, you got all these branches of the Protestants, all these branches of Islam. I'm Sunni, I'm Shia, I'm Ahmadiyya, you got Egypt gang warring with Nubia, the Sudan. I mean, they gang warring with Kush, Ethiopia. Blacks are fighting each other in Africa before white folks come over there and colonize or anything like that there. You know what I mean? So that's human nature. I mean, it's like, it's like that today. I mean, you could live around the corner from dudes you grew up with. You like, we really homies, but he had some fly sneaks. He took my girl. Something real petty. A small grievance starts a big war. I mean, and people be rumbling them, be like, yeah, we don't mess with them dudes over there. And you be like, why? Who cares? We just don't like them. I mean, be like, all right. I mean, you know what I mean? But that's Yakub's law of divide and conquer. You know what I mean? That's I would like to take y'all through some biblical stuff. I don't want to read the whole thing because it's like, I like to give you the short, simple version of, if you will. All right. There are people, Romans chapter 2, verse 29. In plain language, I want to give you the realistic meaning of this stuff. No spooky organized religions. Because see, all the organized religions are really spiritual sciences. And when you look at them as spiritual sciences, you'll love all the religions. I mean, like you'd be like, yo, they was teaching some deep stuff back in the day. Man, the Sufis, man, Buddha was dropping jewels. I mean, like Krishna, man, whoa. I mean, I had a neighbor from India, and she was strict vegan, and her dog was vegan. I mean, shout out to Sunny. I mean, but she had like her own little temple with they had like gold coins, pure gold. They deep with gold and stuff like that there. You know what I mean? And it was such a peaceful, universal teaching and practice that it's like, it's the same thing. I mean, like they had the lights. You would think, oh, this in America, this is where the Christmas lights and all this stuff come from. People was doing this stuff for thousands of years. We thought it was something new or just something pagan. Now, I mean, it's pagans usually take over stuff, corrupt it and mess it all up. Now, I mean, but the short version, Romans chapter 2, verse 29. You could become a Jew by your belief. You could be a Jew on the inside. You could be an Arab Jew, an African Jew, or a Caucasoid Jew. You're not going to find me wasting my time asking you about your Jewness or prove that you're a Jew. I could care less what your personal belief is. That's your belief. You got the right to believe. Like it's like Kyrie can't watch. He's a grown man. He can't watch what he want to watch on TV in 2022 with all his money. He can't even watch what he want to watch on TV in the privacy of his home. His 14th Amendment, the right to be secure in his person against unlawful searches and see. You got all these people in his. Why is you watching that? Like, yo, my man, whoa, why is you all up in my crib like that? I mean, it's like, it'd be like, last night he was watching the Thorpe police seen him, he was watching this, he was watching. I'm like, yo, my man, it would be a concern if it was like something illegal. I mean, you talking about a movie? I mean, it's like he's watching a movie, and why is that news? Like, why should I care? I mean, like, I care because y'all. I'm surprised y'all made this such a big issue. Then when I heard him speak, I'm like, oh, I get it. It has nothing to do with Hebrews, nothing to do with Jews. They like, yo, we got one over here that can see. Yeah, these dudes is waking up. And they got money. And they got social platforms. And they sharing that info. Oh, we got to economically, socially, politically lynch these dudes because they a threat to white world supremacy. That's the reality of it. Okay, let's look at this Bible again. 1 Corinthians chapter 9, verse 20 teaches us about no religion is all religions. You have Romans chapter 10, verse 12. You have the Jew and Greek basically being like, listen, if you have a natural Jew, if you have a Greek Jew or Gentile, they're all equal in God's sight. God is like, I'm not a respect of persons. I mean, that's for Muhammad is not, his teachings is not like, oh, and that white man, John Brown, that fought for the slaves and killed the slave masters and was lynched for fighting for black freedom, he's a devil that shall surely go to hell forever. And that black man that snitched on that Turner and Denmark Vesey and loved the master and hated his people, he's black, so he's going to heaven. Come on with the spooky stuff. I mean, it's like, come on. I mean, the nature of a thing cannot change, but the characteristics can. I mean, it's like the nature of a lion is to be a lion. But if you take that lion and you kidnap him, his wife, you know what I mean, and you kidnap the little cub and put him on a slave ship and send him to the Philadelphia Zoo, you send him to the circus, the carnival, and raise them up in there, and you take their offspring 400 years later, they don't think they kings and queens and princesses and princes. They think they pussycats now. I mean, it's like, yeah, you smack them, they turn the cheek. You like, jump, ha, master. I mean, they be like, but it's like, it's a new day. These young boys now, it's like, yeah, man, you know what I mean? This is a capitalist system. I need money to pay my bills, look out for my family and friends, improve the nation. You know what I mean? I enjoy this life. You know what I mean? Having swimming pools, nice cars. You know what I mean? That's the message teaches us heaven is peace of mind and contentment, money, good homes, and friendships in all walks of life. Your brother's success is your success. You ain't got to worry about him doing something for you. As long as he doing something for himself, he's doing something for you too, because we won. You sharing that. I mean, I love seeing our people graduating. Now, I mean, our people, giving flavor. They winning. I mean, don't play it hate. I mean, that's what we say in the street. Don't hate the player, hate the game. You know what I mean? But it's like these young boys is like, I'm willing to risk my money. I'm willing to risk my reputation. I don't care if they ostracize me, blackball me, as they call it. You know what I mean? I'm listening to them and I'm like, do you hear that? That's That's the mind of Muhammad Ali. I mean, that's the mind of Muhammad Ali. That's this, not a spook or spirit Ali. I mean, but that's that Marcus Garvey up in him. I mean, that's that Prophet Noble Drew Ali. That's that Elijah Muhammad up in him. That's that father of law. That's that gangster, not the godster, but that's the gang star, the God star. I mean, in them by nature. I mean, you see DMX, listening to DMX. Now, they don't know who we be. This how they grew up. This how hip-hop's fight the power. Elvis wasn't here. That's in their DNA. That's how that atoms is vibrating. They like, man, we ain't slaves no more. Devil's Time was up in 1985. It's a whole different generation. Now, prior to 1980 and the 70s, you might have been able to scare them up a little more. I mean, but not nowadays. I mean, unless it's English, let's see one be like, why does he fit now? Now he's a big man because the devil told him to eat the wrong foods mentally. Now I mean, so you know, the these I don't even want to go into all this stuff, but the short version is the Bible. Jesus arguing with these fake Jews. You know what I mean? He's going to, in fact, I'm going to give y'all a little something here. Hold on 1 second here. In the book of Revelations, chapter 2, verse 9. Let's look at that for a minute. Okay, Revelation chapter 2, verse 9, King James transliteration. This is a Schofield scholarly Bible. You know, my Bible all marked all up. I study it all. But it says, I know thy works and tribulation and poverty, but thou art rich. And I know the blasphemy of them which say they are Jews and are not, but are the synagogue of Satan. Fear none of those things which thou shalt suffer. Fear none of those things that thou shalt suffer. See, we go through hardship. Don't worry about if they take your money, they slander you, if they lock you up. You know what I mean? All that goes with the struggle. Like Marcus Garvey said, our people, we want the ocean, but we don't want the waves. You know what I mean? It's like, man, I think it's like, listen, man, turn it as high. I want Satan to turn hell as high as he can get it, so that I could go through it to show and prove that the black man is God. See, that's the challenge. You be like, nah, I want you be like, he gonna beat you up tomorrow, this, that, and the other. Like, nah, I don't want him to beat me up. I want him to get all his brothers and his father and his uncles and his grandpa, and have all of them come try to beat me up so I could beat all the ass. I mean, that's the warrior. That's that warrior spirit. You like, what? You looking for me? You ain't looking for God. I mean, you go looking for them. I mean, like, the message is those that say don't do, those that do don't say. I mean, it's like we come through hell, and as Abraham, they tried to burn Abraham up. He didn't even smell the smoke. When Daniel was inside the lion with the lions, inside the burning den with the lions, I mean, they said he ain't even smell the smoke. I mean, because he was fearless. He feared no one but God, not no God in no sky. He feared that God in the mirror. So let's look at Revelation chapter 3, verse number 9 real quick. It says in Revelation chapter 3, verse 9, behold, I will make them of the synagogue of Satan, which say they are Jews and are not, but do lie. Behold, I will make them to come and worship before thy feet, and to know that I have loved thee. Because thou hast kept the word of my patience, I also will keep thee from the hour of temptations which shall come upon all the world to try them that dwell upon the earth. Behold, I come quickly. Hold that fast which thou hast, that no man take thy crown. Him that overcometh will I make a pillar in the temple of my God, and he shall go no more out, and I will write upon him the name of my God, and the name of the city of my God, which is New Jerusalem, which comes down out of heaven from my God, and I will write upon him my new name. He that have an ear, let him hear what the Spirit saith unto the churches. All praises are due to Allah. With that, we're going to close. Salam Allah, family. The struggle continues.